Welcome to the only place where real, raw, and vulnerable conversations happen with IFBB Bikini Pros to give you an inside look at their struggles, strategies, mindset, passions, and all of life beyond the stage. This podcast is made to inspire, motivate, and remind competitors and the average gym goer that even the most extreme lifestyles and elite athletes have their ups and downs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Celeste Turk, and now it's time for the Confessions of a Bikini Pro podcast. Today's podcast is a video and audio recording, so if you guys want to check us out on video, you can go to YouTube at celestial_fit. Our guest today is a 26-year-old Bulgarian athlete living in London, working as an online coach and posing coach. She started her competition journey in 2015 and really worked her way up in placings from 2019 to 2022, going from a fifth at the Amateur Olympia Pro qualifier in Portugal to 2 years later placing top 3 in the overall at the Amateur Olympia in Romania, which really secured her pro card. And we're going to be talking about that journey quite a bit. And I'm so excited. I love having international athletes on. So welcome to the show, Vesela Hristova. How are you doing?
That's right. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. See, if I slow myself down, I can do a better job of
You're doing great.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And before we get into everything, I like to ask if there is anything you do or think about, or maybe a ritual you have before your heel hits the stage.
A ritual before I hit the stage. I just try to stay calm, I just try to stay calm because the more excited the more excited I am before the stage, the more I lose my mind on stage and I forget things. And I just try to stay calm, but I don't really have a ritual. Oh, I have something actually. I don't want to start crying from the beginning, but just one sec. My coach that passed away, she gave me a card. And I bring it with me to every show I go. So yeah, that's one thing I just do every time I compete.
Wow, that's so beautiful. This was your first coach that you had?
Not really, but is a coach that really made me believe in myself. So yeah.
That's so amazing. I love that you can honor her in that way.
Yeah.
So you guys must have had you must have had a special relationship with her.
We did. Yeah, we did.
That's so beautiful. Oh, I'm glad that you shared that. I think that's such a special ritual that you bring that with you. It's like your piece of her bringing that on stage.
Yeah. Yeah, my goal also was to get my pro card with purple bikini because she was wearing purple bikini and I did this. So
oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, please don't even worry. Now, do you coach yourself now?
I do. Since 2020, I tried to go with different coaches. But I don't want to say that I was let down, but maybe because she was so much into me and she was helping with everything and we had this connection that I couldn't find this connection with nobody else. And maybe I was just looking for something similar, but I never found it. And I just thought that nobody really cares. I mean, and I think I'm doing the best on my own with the knowledge I have. So we will see on my pro debut. I'm gonna do it on my own. So hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what are you currently focusing on for yourself, like in this journey?
I want to compete this year. I was prepping for the show that just went on this weekend in the UK, but I stopped my prep 8 weeks out because I was not feeling right. I did a blood work and my cortisol was way too high and my estrogen was way too low. Maybe it goes together because I was really stressed. So when you're stressed, your estrogen goes low as well. So yeah, I think I was like, if I start prep like this, what will happen at the end of it? because your hormones will get disrupted anyways through the whole prep. And when you're lean, and I was not lean yet. And I was like, if my hormones are like this now, like what's gonna happen when I'm lean? So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get my body like a rest and I'm gonna give myself time to recover and get my hormones to the right level. And then from there I can start. And yeah, I did. I'm feeling good now and I'm in a good position. I didn't put much fat since my prep. So yeah, well, let's see. I haven't picked the show, but I'm prepping and I'll just go whenever I'm ready.
Love that. So what are you looking for to know that you are ready?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I want to get leaner. I have like 5 kilograms to lose, and I've lost like 2 kilos the last few weeks. So I'm kind of dropping quickly, which is good. And yeah, hopefully for November, I'll be ready. So yeah,
That's
we'll see. I don't
yeah,
want to
that's
promise. I don't want to promise because last time I promised, it was like my hormones were not right. So I was like, I don't
yeah.
want to say I'm gonna compete and then end up not competing.
Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure to uphold some of those things?
Pressure for the competition or
Yeah, when you say you're going
um,
to.
yeah, I feel pressure. Yeah, and I prefer to not have this pressure and just even the last time I was prepping for the Olympia Amateur, I didn't say that I'm prepping until a few weeks out. I mean, I thought I'd say that I'm prepping. I didn't say which show, and
Yeah.
it gave me like more calmness and yeah, not that much pressure.
That's super cool. So you kind of learn from your past prep experiences that it's better to relieve
Yeah.
the pressure, just focus on bringing your best, and then decide once you're there.
Yeah, and also what I understood with the preps and with the shows is like it's better to start prep and not pick a show, just prep and then go on a show whenever you're ready. Because sometimes things happen, and yeah, I think that's the best for me. Not if you're going to the Olympia, of course, you can't leave this, but
Yeah.
if you're doing a normal show, there are many shows in the year, there's so many shows. So if something is not right, if your health is not right, just don't push it.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. And I love that you actually implemented that for yourself. You looked over your health and you decided, okay, this is not the best time for me to prep because I want to be in a good spot to prep. So, what have you done in your rest and recovery to now get you to a place where you feel you can prep from? And now you're obviously seeing great results.
Yeah, with my stress, I actually went on a holiday. I got some supplements for my stress. And I just tried to relax. I had my university dissertation as well going on, so maybe that was
Wow,
stressing me a lot. And I finished that, and I have nothing now going on, so it's the right time to
that's
prep.
amazing. So,
Yeah,
what were you studying and what did you finish?
that's very interesting, actually. Not anyone is like shocked when I say this. I studied counterterrorism.
Wow, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, so it's a part of the national security. And yeah, I studied this because I wanted to kind of get into criminology and intelligence and all this. It was 2017 when I started it. Um, but my passion is bodybuilding, so I just want to continue with this. Maybe one day I'll use my diploma, but not now.
Yeah. So what inspired you to finish what you started and get it?
You mean for the university?
Uh-huh.
What inspired me to finish it?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to leave things unfinished, you know? It's like doesn't make sense to waste your time on something and just leave it at the almost at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it started as something you were interested in. Of course, then you grew into competing and you
No,
started.
I actually were into competing before that. So this was
Okay.
like something else. Yeah. So this was 2017. Um, so yeah. So I
Years
competed
later.
2015, and then 2016 I was prepping on my own for a show, but I got pneumonia. I got sick.
Wow.
It was really bad, and then I didn't train for a long time, and I lost my shape. You know when you lean with your abs, and then 2 weeks later you're looking like all fluffy and you kind of like not
Yeah.
depressed, but you think you lost it.
Mhm.
So I was like this, and I stopped training. Actually, I stopped training for like a year, and I didn't have the motivation. I thought that I just lost everything, and I didn't have the motivation. And 2018, I met Nikki through Instagram, my coach, Nikki Jenkins, and she was like motivating me. She was like, "You're looking." She was not training me yet, but we were talking. She was a pro, actually, IFBB Pro, and we were talking. And she was like, "You're looking good. You need to do this." And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I think I lost my passion for it." And she was like, "If you want to do it, let's do it." And I was like, "Okay, you know what? I need your help. You're giving me motivation and inspiration, so maybe you're the person that can help me." And I started training with her in 2018, and 7 months later, I was in the best shape of my life. Actually, it was the leanest I've ever been, even for the pro card. I was not that lean. I was smaller, but yeah. And then when I did the show, I saw the potential in myself,
Mhm.
because until you don't really get in shape, like lean and everything, you don't really know how you look like. So this was the moment where I was like, okay, I think I look good. I mean, I think I can do this, because before that, a lot of people were telling me you have too big waist, you don't have shoulders, this and that, and I'm like, okay, my waist is so tiny and my shoulders are big, and my shoulders are big. So what these people were telling me, and yeah, this is when I was competing, and then actually I started to study in 2017 before I met Nikki.
Mm.
But then I was like, I'm not gonna quit. I'm just gonna finish the university and I'll continue with the competitions as well. So
Love.
I was working, I was prepping, I was studying. So it was like a mess.
Oh yeah. I haven't done a prep yet without being in school at the same time, so I'm so excited for
Mhm.
next year to actually experience what that's like. And you are experiencing that now for the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
super.
mean, not really, because I finished my university actually in 2020 or 21.
Okay.
But because we were in lockdown, I couldn't travel to Bulgaria to finish my dissertation, because I was studying there. So that's why I did it this year.
Wow.
Uh,
That is very interesting. So you had a little bit of a delay in your process.
yeah, yeah, like 2, 3 years.
My goodness. And I was going to ask you what went into that time between your first show to 2019. And it sounds like mentally you kind of hit a wall after your first show, but then you were
Yeah,
able to find your then coach who inspired you, motivated you, got you where you needed to be, and really
yeah,
re-sparked that passion.
yeah, exactly.
So when, and if this is too sensitive, we don't have to discuss it, but when she passed away, like, did you feel that
Mm.
flame get bigger or smaller?
It went bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this for her now. So it's like a motivation.
Mm, I love that. She really believed in you, and so you get to continue to do that for
Yeah,
yourself and her.
yeah. She was like, when I was still tiny, she was telling me, I was like, I want to get my pro card and stuff, and she's like, you will get your pro card. The pro card is not the problem, because you're priority. The problem is gonna be getting your Olympia qualification. I was like, why she's telling me I'm priority? Like I never even won a show. So
Oh,
yeah, she really believed in me.
wow. And now your goal is to go to the Olympia.
Yeah, yeah. It was always my goal, to be honest. I mean, um, I think I started thinking about these things when I saw Dana Lynn Bailey.
Yeah.
And yes, she was my first like idol, and I actually wanted to do women's physique when I saw her.
Really?
So until when was until 2006, 17, 16, I wanted to do women's physique. I wanted to go to women's physique. But then when I understood the sport, I was like, I don't really want to risk my femininity,
Yeah.
so I don't want to go this way. And I think I'm built good for bikini. Like I'm very small, and small waist and small elbows and knees and joints. And yeah, I don't think I will look that good with a lot of muscle. So, I mean, I don't know, but I think bikini is right for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's proven to be right for you because you got your pro card and now you're
Yeah.
focusing on your next step in the journey. But you've also come a long way from when you started. Like you developed a lot mentally and physically. So what was some of the feedback you were getting at those shows other than maybe to grow or kind of get into it because it did look like you put on size, like what were you being told and how did you work to satisfy that to ultimately get your pro card?
And the feedback. Actually, I study this category so much that I know what I need to do. Like if I see a competitor, I know what they need to do to get better. Like instantly, it's because I'm doing this for like 12 years now, 13, I don't know how many they are. So I studied the category from the beginning. And but the feedback were always my glutes. Um, it's my weakness. It's still my weakness, and I've tried everything, and I think it's just genetics. Like I don't know, maybe everybody have a weakness somewhere. So I
Yeah.
think the glutes is mine, but I think it's much better this time. So yeah, I'm trying to grow it.
Yeah, that's super amazing. Like I think working on that feedback and still being told that and still showing up anyways, knowing you have a weak point. Like a lot of people hold themselves back from competing because they're worried like they have this weakness, but you were able to turn it into something good.
Yeah, it's always my weakness and insecurity when I compete, but in Romania, in my category in class A, we were 10 girls. And when I went backstage with them before we go on stage, and I'm looking at them and they are all in shape, all looking good, and they have big glutes, like huge glutes. And I'm looking at all of them, I was like, it's not gonna be like they're gonna smash me with that. Like my glutes is so tiny. And then I went into the first call out and they put me in the center and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
That's super.
So yeah, it's weird. Like I always thought that it's gonna, be hard to get my pocket with my weakness, but it happened. So
Yeah, and you made it happen and now you're working to get Olympia qualified. So is your plan to come to the US at all? Yeah.
yeah, of course. I mean, it's a bit hard because I'm from Bulgaria and I can't come without a visa. So I applied for a visa and I have an interview in 1 or 2 months. And hopefully they give it to me so I can come and compete there. But absolutely, I'm gonna go and compete in the US because the
Yeah,
real bikini is in the US, I believe. So
that's what I've
it's
heard others say.
it's different here. It's very different. It's like different physique and most of the shows. If you win here, if they just pick you and you go to Olympia, you do like last call out. Not last call out, but they're not like top athletes except Phoebe. She's the only one doing good and she's coached by Team Elite Physique. So she's American coach and that's why she's doing good. But not that many from Europe are actually doing good because I think it's because it's different standard here. So they get ready for a show here to look good and win this show. But when
Mm,
they go to America, it's the standard is different. The way they look is different.
that's what I just had a woman named Amy on the podcast and she was saying the same thing actually. Like she wants to see how she stacks up with the girls in America because it is a different ball game here. And I find that
Different.
so fascinating. And like you said, you've been a student of the sport for a long time and you actually had this dream from 13 years old. So was your first exposure to bodybuilding through Danilyn Bailey or was there other exposures as well?
Um, hmm, when I started, the popular girls that were doing this were Larissa Race, Susanna Todi, Andrea Brazier is her name. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. So all of them, and they were bigger, so they were bigger. So I
very
was like, I
much.
want to look like this. And I remember watching the Olympia for first time, and the first category that went on was fitness, and they're doing all this, gymnastic stuff, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, is this what I need to do? I will never be able to do this. How I'm gonna do this? So I was like so confused because I didn't know about the other categories. And then when I saw the other categories, I was like, okay, then I can do this.
Wow. So that's super cool. So you actually saw the exposure through. I actually used to have a picture of Andrea on my wall. I mean, like,
I had them everywhere.
yes. Like my whole door growing up was all these like fitness
Yeah.
influencers and competitors because I was just so inspired, and you kind of learn to fall in love with the lifestyle. And I know my like approach to this lifestyle and outlook on competing has changed so much over the years. How has yours evolved with you from going from 2015 first show, taking time off, to then really falling in love with it again and wanting to hit the Olympia stage? Like, what's your process been like?
What do you mean exactly? I don't understand.
How have things evolved for you, like as far as training, nutrition, and even
Yeah.
mentality?
Yeah. All right. With nutrition and training, I've been trying so many things. So since I started when I was very young, I was working with so many coaches. A lot of the coaches in Bulgaria, they wanted to coach me because maybe they saw potential. I'm not sure, but so I tried with a lot of them. I saw different diets, and back in the days, we didn't really know that much. So they were giving me like 200 chicken per meal, 200 grams chicken per meal. Like that's a bit much. So yeah, it's like just learning your body and learning what works for you, and because everybody is different, and with the trainings and with the food. So just it was just learning and learning and learning and trying different things and see what works and what not. With the mentality, I don't know. I think I'm just crazy to believe I can. Um, I when I started, um, I was I think we're just two or three girls in my whole city that were doing weights. So all of the girls, it was not popular at all. So all of the girls were doing cardio and all these exercises. And I think I was the only one in my gym. There was one other girl that were doing weights, and everybody was telling me like, "Oh, you look like a man," and all these things back in the days. And I'm like, why is people telling me this? Like they don't understand. Um, and I lost my friends because they didn't understand the sport. I was in a group of girls that were partying and teenagers and all this, and I was just with my box with chicken and rice in school, and I was kind of like an outsider. I got kind of bullied even for doing this in school. Um, I was just, yeah, I was just crazy to believe that I can. I was like, they don't understand. Like they don't see what I see. They don't understand how I feel about this. So I just did it, and I know it's just coming from inside. It's like a passion that I really love what I'm doing, even if I never won, even if because I didn't get my first place for so many years, and even if I never won, I will still do it because I just love doing it. It's not because the win, it's not because of the pro card, it's not because the Olympia. I just love what I do, and it's kind of giving me life. Because if I don't do this, honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like it's really a lifestyle at this point. Like you can't really take the bodybuilder out of you. It's just part of who
Yeah.
you are.
And if I don't eat on plan, for example, for 2 weeks, I'm like, I don't like this. Like, I don't feel good. Like I need to go. Even that I eat free sometimes, it's not that all the time I'm just strict, but it's like I want my routine. I wanna train. I wanna eat like this. I wanna weight my food and
Yes, totally get that. That's how I feel too. And I actually have a similar background as you. Like, I remember in high school, I was bringing my Tupperwares. I was eating 6 times a day. I was hitting the gym
yeah, you
before.
were the weirdo.
Yeah, the weird, exactly. Like, only
Yeah.
the guys do that, or that's what the football team is doing. And
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
this. And then I was being like, someone was being rude to me about like the type, because I was posting about it and starting my fitness account and everything. And I learned like exactly what you said. Like, I don't really care what they think because for me, this is my lifestyle. And I didn't get invited to as many things. I never went to the parties. I didn't care to. I sat
Mhm.
alone in my car at lunch to nap because I was tired from the gym in the morning and I had practice later and I needed to just eat literally rice cakes and chicken or something. At least at the time, that was the meal of choice. And then it was like back to school and study. And like, I'm okay. I'm actually grateful that's how I spent my time. And I can tell you have that same excitement about it.
When I was like 13, 14, it was just when I started to train, but I was in a very bad environment. I was going to the club, like adult club,
Oh
at
my
like
goodness.
14. And my best friend in a school, she was like a party girl, and it was not my thing, but I wanted to fit somewhere, maybe. I don't know. You know, when you're a teenager and you just, want to be one of the cool people, whatever. So I was going with her. I was drinking at like 14, 13, and then I started training, and then I was like, I don't like this lifestyle, like, and slowly I started to go away from it. And I'm so grateful because it wouldn't end good. Eastern Europe is very popular with trafficking, and all these things. And I was in very bad environment, so everything could happen to me at this age, 14, and yeah. So I'm really grateful that I went away from this.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a big life change. Like it made a big impact on the way that you live
Yeah.
and also your overall like safety too.
Yeah. So something else. When I was like 3, I think, or 4, they discovered I have a disease in my blood. So I never really did any sport before, like anything, not at school, not I was not allowed to do activities, nothing. So I think I kind of missed this, when something is forbidden, you just want to do it.
Yeah.
So when I started training, I was feeling so good. It was something new for me and I really liked it. I was like, I really want to do this. Like, I want to be an athlete because I
Wow.
never could do this before. So it's nice to do it now.
What changed that allowed you to start being able to do it?
Um, to be honest, I think the doctors were not right for telling me to not do sports. Um, I don't want to blame them, but I think, they didn't know. But what I know now, and I've researched it and everything, I know people who have the same thing and they did activities and they're okay. But yeah, they didn't allow me to because my blood is very thin. It used to be very thin. And the activities made it thinner, even the high temperature as well. So I was not allowed to be in the sun and all these things. But what I discovered now is that when you train and when you do activities and you build your immune system and you build your body, so I don't think you don't need to train if you have this. Yeah, but it is what it is. But when I started, it's like I first started to train at home and I was okay. I mean, I didn't have any issue because usually when my blood is thin, I get blue bruises on my body, on my skin, and I didn't have any bruises. And then I just continued, and I was fine.
Wow.
Mm.
That's so fascinating. So, did you have to do anything differently, like be on any medication or eat any particular way?
Um, I don't really remember because I was very young, but I think I was using like a lot of vitamin C because it helps the blood and but not really medications, no, but I was protected. I was like this fragile child that is not allowed to do anything and just stay still and not go out in the sun and not running because she can hit herself and get bruises and yeah.
Wow. So, you really had to overcome that type of trapped in mindset and let yourself be free to explore these things you wanted to.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm so grateful I did.
Yeah, you didn't limit yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine. I mean, I didn't die when I trained, so
Yeah, thankfully so. Yeah, I think that it's really amazing that you overcame that type of like limited ability to do things and instead you allowed yourself to explore it. And you've always, posted about this never give up mindset. And you said that you can't be beat if you never give up. And I think that's
yeah,
such an important reminder. So, how did that mentality develop in you and inform your belief in yourself?
yeah. Oh, that's complicated. I don't know how to explain this. Um, I don't know. As I said, it's just I'm this crazy to believe that I can. And I had so many people in my life that was telling me that I'm not good for this. Even that because I never won as well. Like everyone was like, "You're not good for this." I've been told I'm too short. I've been told that I have too big waist and all these kind of things, but I just, kept going. And I the first show I did, I was almost last place. I think I was like 13th or 12th place out of 14 or something like this. And I was so happy. Like I didn't even care. I was like, oh, I'm not last. Like,
Yeah.
I was actually happy that I beat one person. And I was just because maybe it's because I do it because I love it. It's like, you know, I didn't really care about the place. I just did it because I love it. And then I compete it again because again I love it. I do it because I love it. And I get in the middle. So I was like, oh, I'm improving, maybe, my shape is improving. And then the next show I'm even more further and more further and more further. And I'm like, okay, then it's working maybe. So yeah, I just believe that I'm getting better and I can improve. Why stop, if you love something?
Yeah, exactly. Like if it's adding to your life and it's benefiting you, then wins aside, placings aside, titles aside, do it because you love it and that's enough.
Yeah. And it's like I really believe that if you really, really, really believe in something, it happens. Like it's always happened for me, like Kai Green have one interview when he won the Arnold. And he says that if someone really, really, really wants something, the universe is gonna help him to achieve it, and I really believe this, and it really happens, like honestly.
So true. I could not
You
agree
just
more.
need to believe it, like truly, not just to say it, but really truly believe it.
Yeah, like know in your heart it's inevitable for you to achieve that.
Yeah,
What went into like your success equation? Because I found this really fascinating.
it's
You
it's
promoted.
again it's again about the faith and the belief in yourself. You know, when you add the passion, the talent, and the faith in yourself. It's actually from a book that I'm just reading at the moment. It's called I need to translate it in English actually because
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure. I'm within the devil or something like this.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's from this book. I was reading the other day and I was like, that's so true. Like it's just the faith, the believing in yourself, exactly that we were talking. Because
Yeah.
it's honestly it's true. Like every time I really believe in something and it just happens. When I was prepping for 2020 in lockdown, and I left with no job, no money, no coach, no gym, literally nothing. And I was like, I'm gonna prep. Like, I will see what happens. Maybe I'm not gonna be able to go to Portugal to compete, but you know. And then I found money for it. It's just everything works out so I can do it. And the same with the pro card. The week before the pro card, I did a regional and I was in the worst shape of my life since 2015. So I retained so much water. I was like 2-3 kilograms water retention,
Wow.
and I lost all of my lines, and I was like, I'm going for Romania in a week, and I look like this. There's no way I'm gonna win my pro card. Then I was like, I paid everything for this show, so I'm just gonna do my best and do it. And I was talking to my best friend Carolina, and I was like, imagine, yeah, I think I won't take it, but imagine after all this madness, I really take my pro card, how I'm gonna feel. It's gonna be crazy. It's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And I didn't even think that I can get it because the previous weekend. Um, and then I took it. I was like, I can't believe this. Honestly, I can't believe this.
Such a huge moment for you. So when you stepped on that Olympia amateur stage, you weren't really expecting it. And then you made it into the overall. And then you made it into the top three. Like, what was it like
Mm.
for you to actually hear your name called out as a pro card winner?
Again, I just felt that Nikki's with me. Honestly, it's like she just helped everything. And I think, yeah, I just believe that she have a big part of it. with
That's
my overall win in 2021 as well. I just like felt her presence there. I know it sounds weird, but it's just yeah.
no,
Um,
that's
yeah,
beautiful.
it was just unbelievable. It's like I didn't expect it at all. Like I just went there to have fun, you know. I do
Yeah.
this with all the shows because I never really won before, so I'm just like going there to have fun and to do my best.
That's so inspiring because there are people listening who have never won a show before, maybe never even come close to competing for the overall, let alone first place in their class or in an
Mm,
open division. But you kept believing in yourself and you ultimately came back and you won your pro card. And really quickly, though, for those who don't understand how the placing goes and qualification goes, at the Olympia Amateur, you have to earn top 3 in the overall to win your pro card. And to get to the overall, you have to win your class. Is that correct?
yeah,
So, just so everyone knows while we're talking about this, that's the expectation for earning your pro card at an Olympia Amateur, at least as of now, and when that was happening too. So, if things change in the future, you can look into
yeah,
that. But essentially, like, I just think it's really special that even though you had never yet won a show, you still believed in yourself, or you did prior, but you didn't expect that for the national or the pro qualifier. So, you
yeah,
went there, you got it, and then now your goal is to take it even further. But how has your own personal journey influenced how you coach the clients that you work with?
yeah. All right. What a question. Um, with my clients is that I always tell them to listen to themselves first. Like, do you really want to do this show? Do you really want to do this? Like, don't force it. Like, your journey needs to flow. Don't force anything. If you force something, it's not right. Of course, you need to force doing the cardio and all these things. But if you feel it's not right, then just don't do it. Continue and do show after. And also the health. It's it's very important because you don't want to do this for 1 year and ruin yourself and then finish it and not be able to do it again. So if you feel something is not right with yourself, just do a blood test and check what's going on. Because if you don't feel right, then something is not right.
Yeah, I love that. Like really empowering them to listen to themselves and listen to their body, and you being through that journey on your own, you can speak from experience and kind of give them insight into what to look for too.
Yeah.
So when you were doing your prep in 2020, you had nothing left, but you believed so much and things started to come through for you. Like, what did that prep look like compared to past ones when you didn't have those adversities?
Yeah, that was a funny time. So yeah, 2020, 4 or 5 weeks out, the gym closed, everything closed. We were in lockdown. I didn't have no cardio equipment, no gym equipment. One person that I know, he had like dumbbells and bands. They were like few dumbbells, and bands. And he was like, I can give you these things if you want because you're prepping. I'm like, okay, let's see. So I started training with them and I was using all my things at home to do exercises and all kind of weird things with the bands. And I didn't have cardio, so I was doing steps outside for the cardio. I was posing in my tiny room because I was living in one room. It was so small. I was doing everything. I was eating there, I was posing there, I was training there. So everything was there. Um, and I started getting sick, and because outside was raining when I was doing my steps. So I was like, okay, I can't even do cardio now. What I'm gonna do at home? And maybe that was the thing that I got fifth place because I was not lean. I mean, I was not fat, but I just needed a little bit more. But I didn't have cardio. Um, so yeah, it was very weird. And it all worked out. Again, I just believed it. I was crazy to believe that I can prep at the home and just go and compete. And I liked my shape, actually. So it went well. And we were not allowed to travel at this time. So to travel to Portugal was not allowed. And also in Portugal, there was a lockdown. So it was not sure that the show will happen 1 week before the show. So I was like, okay, so now I'm prepping at home, prepping with the bands and posing and everything in my room. And I don't even know that this show is gonna exist. So
Mhm.
it's like, what is my motivation? And I just kept going. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it because I have nothing to do. It helped my mind because literally when I started this prep, I was like, I'm in lockdown. I'm losing my mind. I lost my job. I just want to do what I love. And, like just, I have all the time in the world at the moment. So I would just what I love and help my mind and help myself to feel better. And this is how I did it. And I ended up going to Portugal. So it all worked out.
That's so amazing. So how did you end up getting there, given that everything was in
Yeah,
lock?
so luckily they sent me like an email from the show with like invitation. So I had to show this at the airport that I'm going for this reason. So they allowed me to travel there.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really amazing. I think that that year was so strange. Like I had so many shows get canceled on me and pushed
Mm,
back and or moved to a different location. That was fun too, but it's worth it. Like you said, when you look back on your journey, you're like, I did that. Like that's crazy.
exactly. It's like it's just that like I did this, and now when I look at this, every prep feels so easier. And I'm so grateful for the gym. I'm so grateful for everything because imagine if we don't have this. Like it's gonna be crazy. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah, so true. Like it was almost like a season of perspective.
Mm, like be grateful for what you have because maybe one day you won't have it.
Yeah, seriously. And also, like, it showed me that I will find a way no matter what. Like, you found a way
Mhm.
no matter what. And, like, if it
Yeah,
meant running up and down my stairs at home or going on runs for hours a day, like, I was willing to do it because that's what I had access to. Or I would swim in the pool because that was what I could do at the time. Like, it was just, or I'd do hit workouts outside, like, use I only had like the littlest dumbbells, but somehow
same.
it's
Yeah,
like it showed our resilience, didn't it?
yeah. And there's one saying, I don't know who said it, but I just heard it somewhere. It was everything is figure outable. And it's
Mm,
just so true. Like everything is figure outable. Even when you think there's no way, it is a way. You just need to keep going and need to believe.
yeah, so true. If you really want it, not only will
Mm,
God or the universe conspire in your favor, but you will start taking actions that demonstrate that belief as well.
yeah, yeah, it's true.
So you've had a lot of interesting experiences that have clearly, contributed to yourself as an athlete and some of your mentalities of like, just be crazy enough to believe in yourself and keep going and utilize the success equation to achieve what you want as well. Part of your success equation was having the right association and actions that match your passions and expand on
Mhm.
your talent. What do you feel were the necessary associations or actions you had to take that supported the talent you had?
Yeah. Hmm. I think it's meeting my coach.
Mhm.
Because if I didn't meet her, maybe I would never compete, because I was kind of like a bit lost. I knew I liked this, but I was like, I don't know. I kind of like, yeah, I literally was lost. I don't know. I tried to to go to the gym. I went to the gym once and then I was like, no, I don't think I can do this. And then in 2, 3 weeks, I'll start again, go to the gym once. And again, I'm like, no, I can't. I can't.
Hmm.
And when she came in, I just had like this. It's so weird, but when I don't know if you have this person in your life where you just, if they give you that much inspiration that you just believe so much and you can do everything. Like even 2 hours cardio, it just feels easy because you have this inspiration in your head and the motivation from them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
So that was her for you.
yeah,
So amazing how like everything in your journey has really aligned in such a way to set you up with where you're at and having a support system in place, having people who believe in you, and of course, believing in yourself is so key in this journey. And I think that your mentality of like, don't give up and keep going is, of course, only going to benefit you. So, what is your current plan to, aside from, of course, doing you have the visa interview, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So, what goes into a visa interview? Because I think we need to give some perspective, like, for people who are international athletes, coming to America isn't always so easy. So what goes into actually getting here from applying for the visa to coming?
Yeah. I actually don't know about the interview that much. So you give you details and they kind of research you and if you're a criminal and all kind of things, what reason you go for in America. And yeah, like my reason is because I'm competitive, I want to compete there. So I hope I will not have an issue with that. I will even get contracts for the shows so I can show them that I'm actually going for this. And hopefully they give it to me. I applied for a business visa, which is like 10 years or 5 to 10 years, I think.
Oh.
And you can go to America for 6 months, but then you need to come back and then you can go again if you want to. And if I get this, it's gonna be good because I will just be able to go whenever I want and compete there. But if they don't, then I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, well, we'll hope that they, of course, approve you for that. Now, let's say you get approved. Would you spend 6 months here and like find a place to live and live the lifestyle, or would you go back and forth?
Oh, I will go back and forth probably. Um, yeah, I don't know. I moved a lot actually. I lived in so many places and I actually like it here. A lot of people say the weather is bad and all this is raining, but I actually like it because it depends what's your environment, it depends what you do, it depends who is around you to feel good. And I have the right people around me. And I think, yeah, it's the right place for me at the moment. I don't know in the future, maybe I can go to America, but for now I'm good here.
What brought you to London?
Mm. Another crazy thing. When I think I was 14. So I was very bad in school. I didn't like school and I still don't like school. I don't like how it works. I don't like how it takes a talent of you and just makes you in something that, just mad and all these kind of things. Like people have more other dreams than just math and all this. So when I had my dream in school, nobody believed in me. The teachers didn't believe in me. And I was like, I don't know how I had this idea, but because in Bulgaria we're really bad, like it's low salaries and it's hard to live there and all these kind of things. And I want to go somewhere where it's good. And I was like, you know what? London is not that far. I'm gonna go to London. And when I was at 14 or 15, my teacher came to me one day and she thought I'm a failure because I hated school. So she was like, look at your grades. Like, what do you think you're gonna do with your life? And I looked at her and I was like crying. And I was like, I'm gonna go to London. I'm gonna train people there. And this is what happened.
Wow, and you did it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It
So,
was great.
you knew at the time you wanted to do fitness coaching.
Yeah, I actually made my logo and everything back then when I was like 14.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
I just I don't know, I just had it in me. I just believed it, even though nobody believes at the moment. But
that's a
yeah.
powerful skill to have. Now, did your family support you or do they support you?
They do support me, but in the beginning again, because I was very bad in school, so they thought that I'm just doing this just like that, and you know, it's just something that I don't want to go to school, so I'm going to the gym. And they tried to stop me a few times. My mom was like, I'm not gonna pay for the gym anymore. You need to go to school and all this. And I was still not doing it, and I was going outside to train in the park. And I just kept on
Wow.
going. Like they tried to stop me a few times because they wanted me to get better in school. But they just couldn't stop me, and they saw that they can't stop me, so they just let me go. And yeah, my mom and dad came to my first show in 2015. Yeah, they both came and they support me. They really support me. So
That's
I'm grateful for this because some people they really have problems with their family and not supporting it, and this will be hard. I had this in the beginning, but yeah, as I said, when they saw that I'm really passionate about it and they can't stop me, then they're like, okay, maybe she's serious with this.
When I earned my bachelor's degree in psychology and went on to earn my clinical mental health counseling degree and even become a national certified counselor, I knew I wanted to bridge the gap between competitors and mental health professionals. Too often, athletes are told that they can't compete and have a healthy relationship with food or their body. And I absolutely disagree with that. I have helped thousands of women globally to build more than just a body by combining psychology, personal development, mindfulness, and my signature peace through growth process. If you are struggling with the post show blues, or you're struggling with adherence to your prep, or any aspect of your relationship with food, your body image, or overall commitment to your goals, I have tons of resources available for you over at www.celestial.fit. Things like a free food relationship coaching series, free post-show blues coaching series, a full competitor card deck with statements to use for affirmations, journal prompts to go through, and even action and behavior changes that you can implement right away. I really believe that by prioritizing the inner work and developing a healthy mindset, competitors can have a more fulfilling journey. And I know the mental side of this sport is really key to establishing longevity, ending the yo-yoing from show to show, and really establishing goals that span well beyond the stage. If you're looking for that support, head over to www.celestial.fit, where you can find tons of free resources or even apply to work with me. Nothing can stop this girl. Let's let her go.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So you really went and you made your dreams real, and you went to London, you started your business, and you do coaching for competitors and
Yeah.
non-competitors.
Yeah, I have lifestyle clients as well. Most of them go into competing later.
Yeah.
Yeah, they start like I'll give it a try.
Yeah, of course. I think that's so cool. And on top of that, the posing coaching. So what is your approach like as a coach that you feel maybe sets you apart from others in the industry?
Um, uh, I'm sorry I'm reading this again, but
No.
I really wanna carry on Nikki's legacy. Like the feeling I felt with her, the support, and always being there for me, and having the right things to say all the time, and keep having this inspiration from her. Like I want to give this to my clients. I don't want to be just a coach with 300 clients and just doing check-ins and reducing your calories and all these kind of things. Like I want to be there for them. And yeah, I think that's one thing that can separate me. I don't want to work with too many people as well. Like I just want to help people. Like literally, I want to carry this legacy because I've been there where I've been coached by people who don't really care about you, and it's not a nice feeling. And I know the difference when someone cares about you. So this is what I wanna carry on doing.
I love that. No, don't apologize for bringing that up. Honestly, I think that's so beautiful that it's such a big part of your story and your inspiration and the reason you're doing this. And, I think it's also exciting to be building a business that you're so passionate about that and something that you want to focus on and bring to the industry. So, as you've been building it and as you've been doing it, have you set other goals in your life too? Like, do you have other goals outside of business and competing that are exciting right now?
Not really. That's the main thing I'm
You
doing.
know what you want. You're like, I'm
Yeah,
building this business and I'm getting on the Olympia stage.
yeah, yeah. Again, like I'm crazy to be if I can. So just there's no plan B.
Yeah, hey, I actually think that's a good way to live. I think if something's out of your control, maybe having a plan B is good, but when it's within your control and you're living the
Mm,
lifestyle and you can execute on what needs to be done, why have a plan B that's not as exciting or
yeah,
passion
it's just
focused?
a distraction. That's how I think of it. It's just
Yeah.
distracting you from your goal, and it's not gonna help you. Like it's gonna take you away from it because you can't focus on everything at once. If you focus on one thing, it's gonna be much better than focusing on two things.
Yeah, so true. That's very true. And I think that you've lived that and you've learned that yourself, and you've been very focused since a young age too. And you've inspired other people through your own journey, and now you're helping all these competitors as well. Is there anything you wish people knew more about transforming their physique or transforming their posing that you think would help them be more successful?
About their physique, I would say about the whole journey, like first, don't compare yourself to nobody. I used to do it and it always led me to failure, honestly. Every time I tried to think, oh, they're too good, I can't compete with them and all this, I always fail. And when I don't think this, I always succeed. So yeah, don't just do your best. This is everything you can do. You can't control the other people, so do your best. Like everyone is different. Some people will have more muscle because their genetic is like this. Some people will get leaner because their genetic is like this. You can't control all these things. Some people will get it quickly than you know? And the whole journey, like the placings, for example, yeah, some people can win from their first show and some people can win from their 10th show. You can't really control this. The only thing you can control is just what you do and just getting better and better. And don't quit, of course.
Yes.
Um, yeah, with the posing, what I always say is just don't try to copy anyone with your posing because I see a lot of like posing coaches. They have one routine and they show it to everyone, and then everyone is posing the same way. Where what I do is like I will tell them to do what they know, and then I'll see their style and I'll see what they do, and then I'll correct what they already do. I'll not give them something new because I like to pose differently from a lot of people. Like, yeah, I never really copied my posing from anyone. Um, I'm just this is my personality when I'm on stage. I'm like bubbly and I can't be like some girls are more sexy looking and this face, and I can't do this because that's not me. So yeah, just be yourself and yeah, don't copy anyone. Just do your best. That's it.
That's
Do
such
what you can do the best, and you can't control nothing else.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And I think this is a good time for you to share what your name means as well.
Oh, yeah, my name Vesela means happy.
Which
It's more like cheerful, happy, something like this in
that's
English.
just so you. I think that's so
Yeah,
cool.
it is. Yeah, it is. I'm always trying to be positive. I mean, I have these moments where I have hardships and I'll feel sad. It's normal to feel sad, but this doesn't take away from me being happy. Like I'm always positive, and yeah, I always think that there is a way. Um, when is something happening, and I always think that it's for a reason, and there's a way out from this hardship. So just staying positive because if you're negative, more negative things will happen. Like when you start thinking negative, more negative happens, and when you think positive, more positive it's like attracting it.
Yeah, so true. I think because you start behaving in ways that bring more of that out as well, and you look more for the negatives because that's where your focus is. But if you're thinking in gratitudes or positives, you'll see more things that are worth being happy about.
Yeah, there are so many things to complain about. There's so negative things, but there's so many happy things and positive things. So it's you that choose what you're gonna look into and what you're gonna focus on. Because there are always things to complain for. There are always bad things happening, but there are always good things happening.
That's such a good point. Like that's really going to determine the perspective on your life as well.
Yeah.
So before we wrap things up and get people your information, I always like to ask if you have any advice. So your best advice for someone who's never competed before but wants to, and then your best advice for someone on their road to pro.
Okay. Someone who never competed before. Um, be careful who you take advice from because if you choose the wrong coach, it can bring you so bad things like eating disorders, health problems, hormone problems, all kind of things. This sport is not how do I say it? It's like if you're in the wrong hands, it can be very dangerous. I see so many girls getting so many drugs and so many things, and that's not right. That's just not right. This is not the way. So yeah, just be careful. Even with the cardio and the calories, with everything, just be careful who you take advice from. Get someone who knows what they're doing, especially with the woman, because yeah, for me, it's like if you're a woman, it's kind of better to be coached by a woman because she can understand more how you feel. The men don't have the hormones that we do. I mean, there are many good coaches that are men. Don't get me wrong, there are many, but yeah, I felt better coached by a woman, and you can speak to her and share things that you can't with men really. And someone who is on their way, just keep going. Like if you believe it, if you like what you're doing, just keep going. It doesn't matter if you get last place and fifth place or whatever. Just if you want to do it, just do it. I think so many people quit when they get bad placing, even not bad placing. They get third place and they're like, oh, I can't win. You can't win from your first show. Of course you can, but you need to go to the way you're gonna improve. So don't get discouraged for placing bad, because also even the top Olympians and the top girls, some of them are first place one week and then the next week they're going to be 10th place. So this sport is very subjective, and it depends who is the judges. It depends who you compete with, which even country you compete with in, because in the UK is different and in America is different. So yeah, it's the right timing. I believe in the right timing.
Beautiful. Well, all that
You will win at some point.
I love that. Like if you keep going, you'll find your win, just like you did.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that advice, and then also just walking us through your beautiful story and testimony of crazy belief in yourself and pursuing what you want, regardless of circumstance or loss or pain and hardship, like staying positive through that. And I think you're really inspiring as far as carrying on a legacy and creating your own as well. And really fulfilling that success equation too. It's just so interesting to hear you talk about those things. So I appreciate you being so open with us.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, of course. So how can people follow your journey and continue to connect with you?
Yeah, all right. So my Instagram, I mainly use Instagram. So it's IFBB Pro underscore VH. VH is my name, Vesela Hristova. That's my logo and that's my brand name since I was 14. So that's why
Oh,
my Instagram is like this as well.
I love
So
that.
yeah, if someone wanna reach out, that's my Instagram. I don't really use other platforms much. I don't really like social media that much, to be honest.
Wow.
I think it's taking so much of my time, and I want to be present. And I think Instagram can take this away if you're too much into it.
Such a good reminder and a good point, because it
Mhm.
is easy to get trapped in it or kind of in the doom scrolling. So I'm grateful that you gave us your Instagram. We'll make sure that goes in the show notes page. You guys, that's always on celestial.fit/podcast. Not only will you see how to connect, but you're also going to see a full breakdown of the episode in a summary format, a bulleted list of the topics we covered, and episode timestamps, so you can go back and click on this on YouTube to your favorite part, or of course share it with your friends and teammates and let them know what it is that you loved about the episode. When you guys tag us or you reach out to the athletes too, it means so much to them, it means so much to me as well. So definitely, if you feel inspired to do that, it goes a long way for us. And your support of the podcast means a lot to me. So thank you all for listening. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you are in the world while you're listening to this episode. Just make it awesome.